evidence-based, right? That's the question.
The question is, the first question I have, Jacob, is, do you have here a specific team, specific persons that they are working on finding evidences around the world or another studies, trying here to connect evidences to schools? Is there a specific person or unit doing this job actually?
Um, there is not one specific person,
Okay.
but we're supposed to be evidence-based, all of
All
us.
of it. Okay. It's good to hear.
But of course, as you know, it's a difficult question
It
because, as
is.
you say, evidence has to, or normally is produced by the universities,
You're right.
and they, like, evidence lives there,
Yeah.
and the praxis in schools is something different, and the connection between those two are difficult to make.
Yes.
I think there are lots of things to say about this, but one thing is that I'm part of a project which involves all the schools in Aalborg, trying to make our efforts more evidence-based. It's a
Yes.
project concerning the school management.
Okay.
So, in short, the project is that the school management of each school, they are taught by some very knowledgeable persons
Yes.
in 5 areas. One of the areas, one is the quality of teaching.
Yeah.
Another is the learning environment. The third is the professional cooperations in school, how teachers cooperate. The fourth is how management work to support student results.
Okay.
And the fourth is how to use data
Okay.
as professionally as you could.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
they receive some education in
Okay.
these 5 areas, and then they analyze their school. They have to turn in an assignment saying something about how are we doing in our school in terms of quality of teaching, in terms of learning environment, in terms of leadership or management,
Yes, management.
in terms of cooperation in school, in terms of specific data on student results.
Yeah.
And after that, it's a long process. It's like modules. So they just a week ago they had, some of them had one module, and then they have maybe 2 or 3 months to write the assignment, and that repeats 5 times. So it's a long project.
It's a long project.
3 years.
So you focus on the leaders of education. You trust on them. You give the correct education on this, and you try to make them think and to make them take the good decisions based on evidences. So they have to be very serious on what they check on their schools and very conscious.
And part of the understanding in the project is that we do too much change, which is not improvement.
Okay.
I think that's a quite solid scientific result, that schools everywhere do too much change and not improvement.
Yeah. Changing is not always improvement.
Not always improvement.
This is a good state.
Yeah.
This is a good state.
So one of the um, what should come out of it is that you do less change, but more improvement, and also you try to improve, or whatever you do, you always try to improve student results, and not something else. So the focus on student results and the focus on not doing too much change, but try to change for improvement.
Yeah.
That's kind of the
It's trying to move the correct pieces.
right, exactly,
To play it well,
exactly.
not start
And
moving
of
everything,
course,
right?
This focus on leader or management,
Yeah.
but that's it's not. I mean, the understanding is still that the most important factor in quality education is the teacher. So it's not that the teacher is not important, he or she is. It's the most important thing,
Okay.
what she or he does. But this project focuses on management because management has the capability to change all of these. The single teacher
Cannot do this.
cannot
Yes.
like
Not
all these
achieve
pieces.
all these pieces.
No.
Of course.
So that's the project, and I think
So that's a good strategy, in my opinion.
yeah,
Really.
if you ask for how the evidence-based thing comes into this project,
Yeah.
I think there are two ways. The first is that one of the modules has to do with student results, so that makes you focus on the data-driven part of change. That's not evidence in itself, but it's part of the like focus on student results.
Yes, quantitative. I mean,
Quantitative.
we want to know.
You can make it qualitative as well, but the focus on that you have to structure your change so it will affect the student results.
That's it.
That's in itself a kind of evidence-based thing to try.
Of course.
But another thing is that in all these modules, the education the managers get is supposed to be leaning heavily on what is evidence-based. So when the management teams are receiving education in the quality of teaching, it is a researcher who has studied quality in teaching.
Oh, this is a good point. Okay. So the education is always from a researcher.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. So this is maybe the point that connects universities, research,
and of course
and schools.
You have it's still difficult. It's not easy.
It's not easy. Yeah.
Because it is super hard to make that connection. One simple thing, but kind of philosophical maybe, is that research is always a distilled product. You examine something, you examine structures in the lessons, and you distill some points. It's good to have a structure. That's one point. Maybe it's good to make your instructions clear and blah, blah, blah. But it's something different, like to take this knowledge and put it into practice. Research is something, and the use of research is something else. So it's not always easy to use knowledge in the form that it has when it's scientific.
Yes, it's hard.
It's hard.
It's like we need a kind of translation for the teacher
But
to make it
kind of,
easy to
yeah,
use.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the basis of this project is that there has happened something in the last 20 years. The amount of scientific research on education
Raise it.
has definitely expanded
Expand it and raise it up. Yeah.
for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So 20 years ago, we almost not we had not this
Yes.
amount
Of knowledge.
So one of the basis of the project is that there are actually research telling you something that some things are better than other things.
Yes.
And maybe there have been, for example, these huge meta
Yeah.
Projects. New Zealand scientist called John Hattie has made.
John Hattie,
Yeah,
we know.
and,
we read on it.
yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. So he's it's a major study. It's a study combining a lot of
data.
Yeah. So
but at the end of the study, he can
actually tell you something.
Something.
Yeah.
Just like this is better.
Yeah. But
less inversion.
And he would
more
he would,
impact.
He would, for example, he would have an opinion on homework.
Yeah. Yes.
He would have an opinion on the quality of feedback. He would have an opinion on school size or class size, what matters, what doesn't.
And I love how he says, look, sometimes we are investing so much money in things that they are not having really impact.
And maybe what's most important is that some of the things that are most often discussed politically have no effect on, school size, for example.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. It matters so little. Like
it's not a thing to be considered.
It might be an economical issue for a municipality. If you have larger schools, it's more cheap, maybe, but it's not a pedagogical thing. It makes no difference if you have the one or the other. And maybe homework is like that as well. It doesn't really. It's not. It's not crucial if you have or you don't have homework. It's the quality of the homework that you.
It's the quality of the homework. Exactly.
If you can give assignments, quality assignments that the students will be motivated to do, and
problem-based assignments,
of course, themselves at home, and they do them. That's brilliant.
But the old-fashioned assignments, just like copy paste.
Because if they don't do them and they they get demotivated.
Totally.
It's better not to have.
Not to have this kind of homework.
So actually, that's kind of the one thing coming out of that research is that some things it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Don't discuss that. It's not important. And then there are some things that are really important.
Yes.
For example, the quality of teaching, the teacher's actions in the classroom is crucial for what kind of results.
And something related to this is the assessment. The assessment of teachers. What are they doing? How and how they can do self-assessment of also of what they are doing.
Yeah.
So we have to change attitudes. We have to change habits that sometimes teachers are always following a routine,
exactly,
comfort zone, and they have to. I think that this is the most difficult to do maybe
Yeah.
in the schools.
Yeah. Yeah.
To take them out from the routine
Yeah.
and the way that they learned.
Yeah. Exactly. That's difficult.
That's difficult
That's difficult for everybody.
for everybody.
Managers as well.
Totally.
And
I have a question too, because here my colleague Montserrat Tortosa is now in Ireland, and there is a specific education research center in Dublin.
yeah.
So of course it caught our attention because it has a long way. It started in 1960s.
Yeah.
So they are now doing a second education plan. It's like the review of the first education plan in Ireland. It was at the 60s.
Yeah.
And so it was amazing for us to see how they thought. And now we are just beginning, we are just starting.
Yeah.
So is there any plan here in Denmark
On a national level?
on national level?
No.
No.
No. No. I'm sorry to say that.
Maybe you don't need. I mean, it's not that I'm
I
saying
think
that
the
this is
situation
necessary.
in Denmark is that a lot of national plans
Yeah.
are victims of what we just talked about. That sometimes politicians do something which is not evidence based. They develop schools in ways that are not effective or even effective. So no, we don't have a national plan. We have politicians who decide something, and sometimes it's working, and sometimes it's not. We have national goals, standards, or national goals for reading and math, and
Reading and math.
reading and math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, you have.
But we don't succeed in making the goals.
You don't
Not yet.
succeed at making the goals.
No, not entirely. No.
But you succeed in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Have great results. Great results.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have. Yeah.
Yes, you have great results. Maybe I'm thinking that here in Denmark, as you have the competence to let's say control your schools in different zones from the municipality, the commune. Maybe it's like more you are more close to the teachers because you act more locally.
I don't
And
know
you focus,
that
not
much about
center.
Spain, but in Denmark, the schools are run by the municipality.
That's
so
it. It's not
so-
like this in Spain.
No. So the state level, the national level is only legislation. I mean,
And you are here for actions, right?
right.
This is the difference.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's why you don't need a national plan of research.
Right.
Because you're working on actions, direct.
And I think good school development is very local. I mean, we cannot even. There are no things that apply to all schools in Aalborg. It's different. They have different sizes. They have different pupils. They have different
Context.
history. So kind of this plan is that they have to analyze their own school, their own results, their own quality of teaching, learning environment, to figure out what the next step is. It's not possible to say
From here, from an office, right?
From an office.
What can you say from an office with a specific context that the teacher is facing?
Very, very difficult to develop schools
from the top
by legislation, or even from a municipality, because it's different contexts everywhere.
This is what I've seen that is totally different, and I think that you trust a lot your teachers, your leaders. You trust them. You trust that they will do their best for the context they have.
Yeah.
And
You have to. I mean, it's not possible to like control.
this
It's
just from when
from above.
from above.
So I think the utmost important thing is to have quality teachers
And to invest
and to
on
invest
quality.
yeah, exactly. That is the single most important factor in quality education, is that the teacher is well equipped to do the teaching.
I think that when a country is not investing too much on education, what can you ask them?
Yeah.
And they are requiring over efforts on teachers, that they are bringing projects because they like, because teacher, we are kind of person that we love. We love working with people. We love teaching things. And so when your country is not investing enough money and resources for education, teachers are pulling this. And they are really tired. This is a situation in Spain, specifically in Catalonia. They are very tired. And after the corona, a lot of hours, the classrooms were really full, 30, and you are mentoring all of them, 30 families, one teacher. I mean, we don't have so much co-teaching.
No.
What is wonderful, I've seen here, that is,
That's
it's something that it works, and it works.
It probably does.
I think Hattie says that co-teaching is a good thing, at least mentoring, no, one to one.
That's a difficult question.
Yeah.
Because one trend in this educational research is that lots of places in the world up till now, schools and educational systems has mostly been controlled by input. If you didn't have the results you wanted, you put something more into, like more teachers, more money, more resources, whatever. And research shows that you only get a 10% back. I mean, if you put 100 euros into a school, you only get a value of like 10.
Okay.
So that's a very unsolid way to like, it's a waste of money.
Waste of money sometimes.
Well, you get some return from investing like this.
Yes.
But it's not the most effective way to develop schools. So the opposite would be that you focus on results and you try to develop from there.
Okay.
And that's not easy, but
it's what you're actually doing.
But it's something else than like.
Okay.
And in some ways, you could say that co-teaching is doing this, because you just add more people, and you're not quite certain that you have the effect.
More people. I mean, it would be more quantity of teachers, but not more quality, maybe. So that's the point.
And
so
that's not my point. It's research.
Research.
Yes. Research. So co-teaching is definitely good, and co-teaching
when teachers are good.
Co-teaching is supported by research as well, but it's very important to say that research also tells us that if you just add people, you don't get the results that you expect. Try to get. So what is important, that is what's happening when, I mean, if they use the power they have when they are two in the right way, that might be very effective.
I think that it's very interesting, because you are showing that what you were telling before about the education of the leaders is that, okay, let's not invest more money. Let's see on what we are doing with the money. And if we go to the results,
Yeah.
let's find out what's happening in the process to get these results.
Yeah. And also if because we might not escape this way of doing things. That's the way of politicians.
Yes.
When something's wrong, they add
Yeah.
resources. So that's gonna keep on happening.
We have to go on
but
our
we
way.
have to go over here as well and say, okay, if we get more resources, we have to assure that they are used right, because we can use a lot of resources without any effect if we do it wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree. You're really right.
Yeah.
Okay, and to end up, because it's a bit late for you, I know. Don't want to take much time. How do you think the future of Denmark will be after these new technologies revolution?
Well,
where are you going
with
as a
technology,
as a education system? How do you envision your future?
I don't think I don't know if that's the right answer, but I think there's kind of a trend in Danish education saying that we have been very ambitious on technology, and we have been believing that technology will solve some things in education. I don't think it will. Or research tells us that it might not be like that. It's technology is just another wrap from something that is more important, which is the relation between the teacher and the student, or the quality of the education, the quality of the teaching. So technology can be fine and good, and we have, of course, we have to educate our students to meet the needs of the future, which is technology and digitalization. But it's not going to revolutionize education. Education
In
is
pedagogical, we can teach like this,
it's
right?
always been. It's like the relation
between two human beings.
Yeah.
I love this vision, and I love the concept you use about wrapping a wrap, because maybe technology should be a wrap to protect things that we get instead of hiding another thing. Sometimes it's just to show up that we have a lot of technology, but it's not about how many 3D printers you have. It's the projects that you are doing with them, right?
As you say, technology can hide some things that should not be hidden. I mean, some students use the technology in the wrong way, and they learn less than they should.
They should.
Yeah. So
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're welcome. Interesting.
Thank you.